Hi everyone, this is Marianne and welcome to my channel. In a previous video, I did a refresh of this planner with a blue door, and I will link that video down below. This is my catch-all planner, and nothing has changed really from that video except that I had to go back to these rainbow discs from the Happy Planner, but only because these are the 1.75-inch metal discs, and the previous ones that I used in that video were 1.5-inch metal discs. I always end up needing the bigger discs. And these sections here are still the same as from when I have set up this planner for 2022. The setup video will also be linked in the description box. And I recently made a new set of external covers for this planner. This is my planner. All of my daily and monthly pages are on here, plus two sections that are the most immediate and urgent and which I deal with every single day. These are my sections for university because I am cramming to write my thesis for the entire month of September. And this section for notebooks because I still do spend 3 hours a day making notebooks. All related videos pertaining to university and the notebooks will be linked in the description box. And I really like these new covers that I made with the vintage books and the dried flowers, and I liked the look of the laminated edges, which I never really appreciated before in covers, so I usually just cut them off. I have a video of how I made these laminated covers, and I will link it down below. Now, these two planners used to be together in a single volume, which you will see in my setup video for 2022, but I bifurcated them into two different volumes. One is my planner for every day, and I bring it around everywhere, and the other is my catch-all for everything else, which stays at home. I wanted to do a refresh of this catch-all planner, and because I don't bring this out of the house like I said, I figured I might be able to get away with making this a transformer planner again. Now, this will not be the first time I made a transformer planner. I tried it out last year. I will link the video down below. But because at that time I brought that planner around with me out of the house, it was too cumbersome to transform while I was out and about, so I ended up not transforming it, which defied the purpose of a transformer planner. And I will explain that later. I also want to give a shout out to the person who came up with a transformer planner idea. She's Whimsy Lindsay Plans, and I will link her transformer planner video down below. She invented the concept of the transformer planner, which I think is pretty cool, pretty awesome. So anyway, to make my own little transformer planner, I knew I would have to reshuffle all of my sections. So I took some sticky notes and listed down all of my sections, one section on each sticky note. And I have more than 20 sections here, and I have discussed the sections in my setup video, which I will link down below. I have so many sections because the sections need to be very detailed. And each section actually has its own brain dump, which is just a blank piece of paper at the back of each section. This method of sectioning, what I mean is this very detailed method of sectioning works best for me because I have brain fog. The more specific I get, the better I can understand what it is that I have to deal with at any given point in time. And by the way, here is my disc-bound wallet. The white elastic has grown a little dirty over time. I need to do something about that. This is a disc-bound wallet that I made for myself with laminated card holders. The video about how I made this disc-bound wallet will be linked down below. And here is my cash envelope system, which is really a cash pouch system. It is also disc bound, as you can see. I also made this myself. Video will be linked down below. I want to take out the plastic poly covers that I have on this cash envelope system because this really isn't my preferred poly cover. I prefer this other one right here just because it looks nicer in my opinion. And here are the covers that I used to use: the Gothic literary cover and the Holly Golightly and the extra poly covers. These will go into storage. Now I do have to get an oil change for my car very soon, so I'm taking out the pouch for the oil change and I'm transferring it to the disc-bound wallet. And this is really how it works because I use the disc bound for everything now. I can transfer content from this cash envelope system to my wallet as needed. And I'm also taking out an extra pouch to put inside my planner so I can have a stash pocket to put loose papers into, because this planner is what I bring around all the time. These pouches are laminated and they work really, really well. I highly recommend that you make some for yourself in the size that you need. These are so easy to make. I showed how to make them in my video about the disc-bound cash envelope system. Okay, now here are all of the sections of my planner on the sticky notes. Now I have to figure out how to group them together in categories. And it's okay that you cannot really see my handwriting on the sticky notes for now. I will show you the sections more clearly later on in this video. I really do have a lot of sections, and everything that's on my sections have been there for as long as I can remember. My very first planner video on my YouTube channel was on July 2013. You can still watch that video. I will link it down below. And I already have several sections there, but I was limited by the size of the rings. On the Filofax Saffiano that I was using at that time, the Filofax personal size had the usual 23 millimeter rings. Then I eventually switched to a compact-sized Franklin Covey with 1.5-inch rings, which is about 40 millimeters, and it was so wonderful. The paper I used was still the personal size. I didn't even have to redo my pages. I transferred everything from the Filofax into the Franklin cover and then added the sections that I needed so that I could be more detailed. I will link some of the videos down below. And the 40 millimeter rings, or the 1.5-inch rings, were so wonderful, especially when Deborah sent me a pink Franklin cover leather binder. That binder is so beautiful. I've used it happily for a few years and I still have it. It's in storage and I will continue to hang on to it even if I'm already on the disc bound now. So like I said, I always end up needing the fatter planner, the big rings, the big discs, because of the amount of sections that I need in my life. So as you can see, I simply spread the sticky notes out in a little matrix of sorts, and I placed the title of the categories at the top using a different color of sticky notes. And that made me realize that I had 6 categories, although the last category on this is labeled calendar. This is already my calendar, which is here, the one in my planner, and the calendar part is super thick. It's this thick, as you can see. The other 2 sections on my planner is the university section, which will eventually go in a different category, and the notebook order section, which will go in a different category as well. But for now, I will keep these 2 sections in my planner until the end of September. And I did consider incorporating my entire cash envelope system into my catch-all. This is not very thick, but I eventually decided not to because it might bulk up my catch-all too much, and besides, the cash envelope system is a different system. So finally, here are the 6 sets of covers that I made for my 6 categories. These photos were taken from Unsplash, and I will link each photo in the description box. These ones with the macarons will be for my personal category. And up here, I placed the final size that I wanted to help guide me when I'm cutting the paper down to size. Here is the image that I chose for the writer category. Here is for the hustle category. Here is the one for the creative projects category. These ones are for the slow life category. And the slow life is really what I call my goals for semi-retirement. I think the slow life is perfectly symbolized by breakfast in bed. This one is for the planner category, which contains a vintage planner, which I am not sure of because I no longer place my planner inside my catch-all, but let's see. And by the way, this is the photo paper that I am using. I bought this from a store in my city called Hong. On the packaging, it says it's 230 GSM, but it's kind of floppy. It is not thick, and I will show you later how I reinforced that. Okay, now it's time to cut. These printouts have the images already sized to the height that I want, which is 21.5 centimeters. But I have not set the width yet because I want to be able to decide that manually. So I cut off the top and the bottom parts first of all of these photos, and then to figure out the center of the images, I used as a template this plastic poly cover, which is actually 11 centimeters wide. My preferred width was 12 centimeters, so I just ended up using a ruler. And after everything has been cut down to the size that I wanted, I went ahead and reinforced the floppy photo paper with this cardstock right here. It says it's 200 GSM, and it actually feels stiffer than the photo paper, which is 230 GSM. I just used a glue stick to paste the two paper materials together, and then while I was cutting everything down again with my scissors, I brought out the laminating machine so it can heat up in the meantime. I proceeded with the lamination and then cut off the excess laminate completely on the side where there will be discs, like on the left side for the front cover, which still has the laminated edge on the right side and the top and the bottom, and the reverse for the back cover. You know the drill, and I will show you later how everything falls into place. At this point, I was a little worried because this entire stack of covers is already 1 centimeter thick, but I decided to proceed with the plan and see how everything goes. The next step is the hole punching. As usual, I have here some paper templates. These are cut down to the height of the A5, which is 210 millimeters. The height of my inside paper of my planner is A5, which is 210 millimeters. And these templates are already hole punched with a Happy Planner. I usually clip the template to the laminated cover and use a single hole punch and a pair of scissors to create the holes. I do not use my Happy Planner to punch laminated covers or laminated material because I tried that once. It jammed very badly, so I'm never doing that again. And then I just go ahead and do that for the other cover. And now we have a set of covers for the front and the back. And then I just did the same process for the rest of the covers. I'm going to go back to my sticky notes, which will now be my guide as to where I will place each section. I will be using these silver discs. These are 2-inch metal discs from Jane's Agenda. These are a gift from my cousin Chari. And I do have an unboxing video of these discs, which I will link down below. I used to have these discs in a commonplace notebook made of 3x5 index cards, but that thickness wasn't very handy, turns out. And a commonplace notebook should be handy, so I put that small 3x5 index card notebook on smaller discs, which freed up these 2-inch discs for me to use now in my catch-all planner. And from this point, it's just a matter of transferring everything section by section into the larger discs. But I first put on the front covers for now, not yet the back covers, which I will do later. Now that everything has been put where they should go into the big discs, the front covers and all of the sections, I am now going to put the back covers on, which will make the transformer planner. And the way to put the back covers is to put them on the facing page of the front cover like so. Now, with these covers, I am on my personal planner, which contains all of my sections for personal. And for the writer's section, here you can see that the front and the back covers are the same, which will make this look as if this entire thing was just one writer planner. And this section contains all of my sections pertaining to my being a writer. So that's really the concept of the transformer planner. You can flip the covers in order to make it appear as if it were a different planner, but really it's just one planner that can transform into a few different planners. And then at some point I realized that the covers were too wide. They were sticking out too much on the right side, which is the foredge. And I have to admit that that made me give up. I decided I'll just go back to my old setup with just one set of covers, one of the laminated covers, and the sections all ordered the same way that they used to be. So I have to say that But about after an hour, I decided to try one last time, because I really, really wanted to use the transformer planner. So what I did was I cut off an excess 1 centimeter on the covers on the part where the holes are, making the covers only 11 centimeters in width. And if you have a disc bound, if you measure your disc bound, the part where the holes go from the edge of the paper all the way to the top of the mushroom, that is exactly 1 centimeter. I use the Happy Planner punch, by the way, so there can be a very tiny variance if you use a different hole punch. But for the Happy Planner punch, it's exactly 1 centimeter from the edge of the paper to the top of the mushroom holes. So I cut off 1 centimeter off the side of each cover, and I just made new holes. These made the images no longer exactly centered, but that's okay. And with that, with the more narrow covers, I proceeded to make the transformer planner again. There is a lot of shuffling around of the sections, basing on the matrix that I have made with the sticky notes. And while I was doing all of the shuffling, I have noticed that some of the pages are already looking a little ratty around the edges of the holes. And that is because most of the pages here have been on my planner since last year, and some of them I take out a lot and then put back on. Some of them I transfer to a different section or a different, place on the discs. The loose leaf system is really the best system for my needs because that's how my brain works. It's very chaotic. But even after all the taking out and the putting back in of the pages over time, and even if the holes look ratty now, none of the pages have ever fallen out by accident. Everything on here uses paper that is at least 90 GSM. The 90 GSM paper is concentrated only on my journal section because I use Elias paper there and nothing has fallen out. And also in the same journal section is really the 36 GSM mica onion skin that I continue to experiment with. I will link the video introduction to the experiment down below. For all of the pages in all of the other sections, the paper that I used are either 100 GSM or 120 GSM. None of those have ever popped out of the discs by accident. And even the 90 GSM Elias paper, it hasn't popped out. As for the 36 GSM mica onion skin, well, I don't know yet. It hasn't popped out yet at this point, but I cannot say for sure that it's never going to pop out. And what I can appreciate about the Transformer Planner, in my case, is that the covers actually help me with my mindset. For instance, say I need to be working on some of my tasks related to hustle. So I will need to transform this to the hustle planner where my hustle sections are. The covers that I see up front help me get me into the hustle mindset. And it goes as well for the other categories, like for the writer category where my writer sections are. I like the image of the typewriter, which is the Erme 3000, a classic. So you get what I mean. In my case, the choice of covers, specifically the choice of the image for the covers, is very, very important in helping me set my mind for what it is that I have to do. And now at this point, it is time to put the back covers in again. Here's my personal category: the category for hustle, the one for writer, the one for other creative projects not connected to writing, and here are the covers for slow life. And I ended up not putting in the covers for the planner category because, like I said, that's already in a different planner. And I just transferred the future monthly sheets into my old supplemental binder. And then after a few hours, I decided to make one final change to the categories of this Transformer planner. I decided to take out the category for slow life and incorporated the two sections from there into the category for writer because writing is what I will continue to do in living my slow life. Writing is also what will help qualify me for a slow life, Because writing gives me passive income. That is the income setup of writers. We are paid royalties by our publishers for as long as the book is in print or available as an ebook and is still being purchased. Royalties will continue to be given to the writer. And the royalties will help fund my slow life, which is also what I call my semi-retirement. Royalties are passive income. The only work really required of writers is that we write the book, find a publisher or an agent, and when the book is out, help promote it. Once our job is done, we can sit back and wait for the royalties. Of course, we continue to promote the books for many years. That is a given. But we usually write other books after that, and the cycle continues. But really, one book a year or two books a year, that's a reasonable workload for me. That is slow life in my definition, and that is the kind of life that I want to live in my semi retirement. And the slow life is best for me because I have a chronic illness that I have to live with. I talk more about writing with chronic illness in a different video, which I will link down below. Now, the covers still do stick out of the foredge, but not as much as before. It's not as annoying. And really, it's caused by the curvature of the discs. There is no way around it. It's really going to curve out. But it's nice what 1 centimeter difference can make. I only cut up that amount of the covers, and now it's not so annoying. It's just not easy to transform the volume from planner to planner because the discs are so big. These are the biggest discs that are available that I know that are metal. When it comes to the plastic discs, there are 3-inch discs available from Levenger, but that is way too big. They look like saucers, and someone showed them in a video, which I will link down below. Also, the metal is my preferred disc material because I heard that plastic discs have the tendency to break or crack. Now, one last thing that I have to make for this planner, of course, are new tabs. The old ones look old. They look battered. They have been on here since, well, for a while, and they are no longer in the proper cascading order. And that will be my next video. I will show you how to make tabs for your planner dividers without a label maker. And that is my video for you today. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you were able to get some ideas from here. If you use a transformer planner, can you tell me in the comments what you like best about it and what you don't like about it? Also, why do you use a transformer planner to begin with? Let's talk in the comments. Thanks for watching. Bye.